Hello, my YouTube patriots and fellow patriots around the small globe that I'm participating in. I wanted to do a video today about the language that's used in everyday broadcasting and the, the language that's used by our government officials. Everything is code, and you've got to be able to kind of understand what they're saying, and that way the wool gets removed from the eyes and they don't get you distracted. But I want to start out by shouting out to a couple of the people that have subscribed to me, and I appreciate all of you. Um, Knight's Armory, old Jim over there, he's a new subscriber. He builds knives, makes knives from scratch, and watched an interesting show on his channel last night where he's working on a knife for American Joe. That was interesting. Um, Appreciate you being over here, brother. Also, I have Laura. She made number 20 for me. That was my number 20 subscriber. So I'm up to 25 now. So we're really rocking this joint now. So also I have Morsal. She joined us last night, and I have Dark Steel. He's another patriot. That's a knife builder out there, and it's important to support these patriots when they have small business and they're trying to get a good startup or trying to build what they have. We sort of depend on each other, because if you notice, there are left-leaning organizations all over the place that don't want our business, and that's fine because there are enough patriots to support each other. So it's important that you go over there and check them out, give them a little business, help spread the word for them. We all are in this together, so let's work together and make it a big movement the way it's supposed to be. All right, getting on to the language. A lot of people don't realize that the United States became a corporation back in 1878 because we were basically impoverished because of the war. We were strapped. So the old Europe finally got their fingertips back in on us and helped us to get out of our woes, and we ended up becoming a corporation under the Queen. And one way you know that for sure is we are not covered under the constitutional law because of one word that was changed in 1878, and that was the word "of" was replacing the word "by the people," so it's "of the people" instead of "by the people," and that one word plus a few documents turned us into a corporation. You are a subject of the corporation. And you hear, like in court, you're referred to as a subject. The subject did this, the subject did that. And when the police are talking about looking for somebody, they're looking for the subject. So keywords, those are the things to pay attention to. The Constitution is the law of America. The corporation consists of statutes and articles. So if you look at law books, they're typically statutes and articles. That's important to know. When you take a bar exam, it is called the British Accreditation Registry. Why the hell would it be British? Think about it. It's the corporation. So, I bring this up because you need to start looking at becoming a sovereign citizen or sovereign American. You don't need to be a citizen of the corporation. You need to be a sovereign American. And there's a process to do that. It's some paperwork. It's pretty simple. You can fall back under constitutional law instead of the corporate law. April of June has a show, and she helps people get off the corporation and become sovereign citizens. She has a lot of really good information, and you really need to start listening to her and getting your process together for becoming a sovereign person and get off this corporation. And even President Trump, during his rally, mentioned the same thing. He refers to us as Americans and not United States citizens. It's a key word, and it is important because we are sovereign Americans, but we have to file paperwork to separate from the corporation. Free speech. The reason you think you have free speech is because you think you're covered by the Constitution, but you are actually in a corporation. So a business can monitor what you say in their facility, in their property. So if you work for somebody, or if you're a subject to a company, then you are also subject to their rules and regulations. So that's why they are suppressing speech, because they feel like they can get away with it because they're doing it on behalf of the corporation. The let's see. Also, I want to mention Icons, ICONS. That's another gentleman that has a page or a show on here that he also gets into becoming sovereign, and the process is needed to do that. He has some good information, and he keeps up with what's going on out here. I mentioned the other patriots out here that have shows because I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in it for the fame. As a matter of fact, I'm not even a very good socialite. I like hanging out with people that I'm familiar and close to, but I'm not the kind of person that goes out to clubs and looks for people to hang out with. I'm just not that way. So when I mention these people, it's because I truly believe that they can help in this fight to get people awake and to get them free of the system. So wanted to bring up the Mueller report hearings that were just happening, where they brought up that they wanted Adam Schiff to resign. And of course he's an idiot. So he's not going to resign. He's the only thing that's keeping him, in his opinion, away from an indictment is keeping his position. Because if somebody tries to indict him, he'll just say, oh, well, they're just doing this for political reasons. They're not doing it because I broke so many laws. So in that hearing, a good example of this language that you have to listen for is Dr. Winstrup. He's a representative for Ohio. He was asking a question of the members that were being interviewed in this hearing, and U.S. Ambassador and National Security Advisor, Mr. McFaul, in his statement says, I took an oath to the United States of America. And if you listen carefully, United States of America is the corporation. If he was to take a true oath, it would be an oath to the Constitution. And when I took my oath, it was an oath to the Constitution. But even though I took that oath to the Constitution, according to my birth certificate, I'm a subject of the corporation, and I'm going to be doing my paperwork to get separated from the corporation. So when I say I swear allegiance to the upkeep and protection of the Constitution, then I'll be able to mean it once I have my paperwork filed. The last thing is the mainstream media. They use little keywords too, and all of this is to keep people in the dark and to get away with saying things and not actually meaning it, but to put information in people's minds so that they're all the way around messed up. It's a mind melt. Pretty much everything in this world around you has been a fabricated illusion, and as people wake up and get exposed more and more to these illusions, the amount of information you start hearing and seeing when you open yourself up to it, it's amazing. And sometimes you learn so much that it becomes difficult. There's so much bad stuff going on that you just tend to, your whole body just tends to freak out. Your heart hurts, your brain hurts, everything hurts. Especially with the children, the evil stuff going on with our children. It's insane. Anyway, back to the mainstream media. You got John Brennan, you got Clapper, you got all the puppets from the mainstream media that have hands shoved up their ass so far they got to clean their nails with a toothpick. These people all use little keywords. They'll start a subject with, if it's true. They'll use if it's true, but they'll drop that in a low tone, and it's all in the presentation. So they've said if it's true, which means it's probably not. But then they'll follow it up with the president did collude with Russia, and we need to investigate this thoroughly. So they use a keyword to protect themselves, but then they spew garbage that gets into people's minds, because they don't hear the little, if it's true. They hear the president colluded with Russia, film at 11. So it's all an illusion, it's all a game, it's all a mind melt, and it would be, if it was a porn movie, every time you'd hear the media, you'd hear bounce, wow, wow, because they're basically mind screwing you to death. So you have to listen to the words, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you, really look into April or June, because you need to become sovereigns. You need to get off of this corporation, and you need to come back under the rule of the Constitution. And it requires a little bit of effort, but it's worth doing. If you guys like what I have to say, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe. If you tell your friends about me, make sure they subscribe and ring the little bell. At least when you ring the bell, you have a 50% chance of hearing from me if YouTube decides to suggest my channel or let you know if I'm broadcasting on here. But anyway, that's what I've got for this one. Y'all stay in the fight.